Hello and welcome. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. We are interrupting our regular programming to bring you a special broadcast on Prime Minister Modi's visit to Jammu and Kashmir. Over the next couple of hours, we'll get you the latest from our correspondents on the ground. We'll also be joined by our guests who will put the Prime Minister's visit in its proper context for you.
Namaskar, I am Tanvi Taneja. Yes, it's a special day for Jammu and Kashmir. Both Chief Minister Umar Abdullah and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have tweeted about it last night, sharing stunning pictures of both the Chenab and Anji bridge. We'll tell you all about it. Stay with us to know why Udhampur-Srinagar Baramulla rail link project is a remarkable feat of Indian engineering. All that and much more coming up in just a bit. But first, the headlines.
Beginning of a new era of enhanced connectivity for the Kashmir Valley as Prime Minister Modi set to inaugurate development projects worth 46,000 crore rupees.
A project that knits together valleys, ridges and mountain passes, the Udhampur-Srinagar Baramulla rail link project is an engineering marvel comprising 36 tunnels spanning 119 kilometers and 943 bridges.
The Udhampur-Srinagar Baramulla rail link project showcases the finest Indian engineering achievements. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate the world's highest railway arch bridge, the Chenab bridge, and India's first cable-stayed railway bridge, the Anji bridge.
And not one but two Vande Bharat Express trains to mark the beginning of a new memorable journey of rail travel for Jammu and Kashmir will reduce travel time between Srinagar and Katra to 3 hours.
Now, in line with its commitment to boost rail infrastructure and connectivity in the region, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 46,000 crore rupee Jammu and Kashmir development projects, including the Udhampur-Srinagar Baramulla rail link and India's first cable-stayed Anji bridge.
Yes, the high-speed Vande Bharat Express will cut travel time between Katra and Srinagar to 3 to 4 hours, even in harsh winters, thanks to the advanced technology. More in our next report.
Not many regions on this planet are synonymous with the phrase paradise on earth, but India's Jammu and Kashmir truly is paradise on earth. To improve connectivity to this breathtaking part of India with the rest of the country, the Indian Railways has completed a rail link using state-of-the-art facilities and technology. In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday will dedicate the rail corridor between Srinagar and Katra to the nation. Along with the rail project, Prime Minister Modi will also lay the foundation stone and dedicate to the nation multiple development projects totaling nearly 46,000 crore rupees. The Katra-Srinagar rail project is the key highlight among all these projects, providing the direct rail connectivity to Jammu and Kashmir. The Udhampur-Srinagar Baramulla rail link project will provide uninterrupted all-weather rail access to the Kashmir Valley. Adding to this transformative infrastructure, India's first cable-stayed rail bridge, the Anji bridge, will also be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. Furthermore, the high-speed Vande Bharat Express will now connect Mata Vaishno Devi Katra station in Srinagar in just 3 to 4 hours. Among the many marvels of this ambitious rail project, the Chenab Arch Bridge stands out as the tallest arch bridge in the world, soaring 359 meters high.
ब्रिज का डिजाइन 260 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटा विंड स्पीड, 260 किलोमीटर पर आवर विंड स्पीड और जो जोन 5 सिस्मिक जोन के हिसाब से उसका डिजाइन है, यानी एक बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस से इसका डिजाइन किया गया है. इसकी फाउंडेशन देखो, अगर आप फाउंडेशन फुटबॉल फील्ड के आधे के बराबर है. 30,000 टन स्टील लगा है.
The entire Udhampur-Srinagar Baramulla rail link project, costing 43,780 crore rupees, stretches over 272 kilometers and includes 36 tunnels and 943 bridges. Notably, it features India's longest transportation tunnel, T50, which spans 12.77 kilometers. Recognizing the harsh winter conditions of the valley, Indian Railways has also introduced an all-weather friendly special Vande Bharat train. Bureau Report, DD India.
And let's now connect with our correspondents from Jammu and Kashmir. Gurmeet Singh joins us from Jammu and Shabir Dar is joining us from Srinagar. Shabir, coming to you first, it's a very big and special day for Jammu and Kashmir, not just in terms of regional connectivity, but connecting the Kashmir Valley with the rest of the country.
Yeah, indeed, a big movement for Jammu and Kashmir, particularly for the Kashmir Valley, because this has been a long-pending dream of the people of Kashmir, to get connected to the rest of the country by the rail. And the project has been going on for many years, and today is the culmination day when the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and throw open this important developmental milestone connecting Kashmir with the rest of the country through rail network. Remember, this connectivity will not only boost the tourism and trade in the region, it will give impetus to the economy and create new livelihoods for the local people in Jammu and Kashmir. So indeed, a big day for the people of Jammu and Kashmir who have been waiting for this day through, from decades. And the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is, making a historical moment by, bringing Jammu and Kashmir Valley, particularly on the map, on the rail map of the India. And Kashmir is going to make leaps ahead on the development and economic front.
Indeed, and joining us from Jammu is our colleague Gurmeet Singh. Gurmeet, a big day for Jammu as well. Talk to us a bit about what to expect over the next several hours, including the PM's itinerary.
First of all, Ramesh, as Shabir has already told you, that this is the historic day for Jammu and Kashmir when the rail network that is connecting Kashmir to the rest of the country is going to be operational. Right now, I'm reporting from Katra railway station, and Prime Minister will reach here about 12 in the noon. And before that, I would like to show you the visuals of Katra railway station, where the people who want to catch the train and the devotees especially who have come here to offer the prayers at Mata Vaishno Devi, they are returning to their home, and some people are coming here to offer prayers in the Mata Vaishno Devi shrine. So first of all, these are the visuals that we are getting in at this point in time. A lot of people who are coming to the railway station, and this is at the time when Prime Minister has to come, and uninterruptedly people are coming here. There is no problem, and people are quite happy. We have talked to a few people and a few pilgrims who have come to Katra. They are quite happy with this rail link going operational from today. And I would like to show you the gate also. So all the people who are coming here, they would pass through this gate and enter inside the railway station. And this is the gate from where the Prime Minister will also enter inside the railway station. So these are the first visuals that I am showing you. And here on my right side, you can see the Prime Minister's security. The SPG has also reached here, and which is just waiting for another signal when the Prime Minister lands here. But the very first thing which is going to happen is the inauguration of Chenab railway bridge, which is the world's highest rail arch bridge that will be inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. And after that, Prime Minister is scheduled to come at Katra railway station. And today, 6th of June, should be seen with the three dimensions, Ramesh. The very first that we have already discussed, that is Chenab railway station, the railway bridge, which is world's highest railway bridge. And the second one is Anji railway bridge, which is also a very important bridge. And if we talk about this Udhampur, Srinagar, Baramulla rail link, then this part of the bridge where Chenab railway bridge has been constructed and this Anji bridge has been constructed, this chunk was quite important. And for our viewers, we want to tell and convey that earlier, the Kashmir part of this rail link was operational. After that, in 2024, in the month of February, the link, the chunk of Sangaldan to Banihal became operational, and this was the last chunk that was to be operational in this year, and it was completed just a few months back. And this rail bridge and this whole link was waiting for to the inauguration by the Prime Minister. And today Prime Minister will flag off Vande Bharat train from here only. And this is the first day when Vande Bharat train will go from here till Sangaldan and take journalists, media persons, and from tomorrow onwards Vande Bharat will be open for the civilians over here.
So, Gurmeet, you are in for a great ride in the Vande Bharat Express train, seems like. So, of course, like you mentioned, with this, the Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla rail link project is nearing completion. Well, it's a remarkable feat of engineering. Take a look at our next report as we explore various landmarks achieved through this rail link and why it is being referred to as India's pride.
Dedication of Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla rail link to the nation by Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a historic leap for Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla rail link, the USBLR, is one of the most ambitious railway projects undertaken in independent India. Stretching 272 kilometers through the rugged Himalayas, the project has been built at a cost of 43,780 crores. It includes 36 tunnels that span 119 kilometers and 943 brigades that knit together valleys, ridges and mountain passes. Designed to overcome the region's challenging geography, it connects remote areas to the national railway network and marks a new chapter in mobility, trade and tourism for Jammu and Kashmir. There are many unique aspects which make this project a remarkable feat of engineering. One of the most outstanding feature of the USBLR project is India's longest transportation tunnel, T50. This engineering marvel is 12.77 kilometers long and has cameras placed at every 50 meters for safety and operational data purposes. It will operate between Karisumbar railway stations. The project also has India's second longest transportation tunnel, T80, known as the Pir Panjal Railway Tunnel. It is 11.22 kilometers long. India's third longest railway tunnel, T44, is also a part of this prestigious project. It stretches over 11.13 kilometers. One of the most remarkable feats achieved in this project is the unique and iconic railway bridges. Chenab Bridge is the world's highest railway arc bridge, 1.3 km long. It is built at a height of 359 meters, which is approximately 35 meters higher than the Eiffel Tower. It has steel welding of more than 600 kilometers. Similarly, another engineering marvel is the Anji Bridge, which is India's first cable-stayed railway bridge. Its length is 725.5 meters. The bridge is balanced on the axis of a single central pylon. Height of a single pylon is 193 meters from the top of foundation, while the total number of stay cables are 96. Total running length of all stay cable strands is 653 kilometers, which is more than the distance between Jammu to Delhi. Further, advanced construction technique was specifically adapted to the complex geological and seismic conditions of the Himalayan region, called as the Himalayan tunneling method. Bureau Report, TV India.
Right, and joining us are two very special guests, Professor Manoj Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor of the Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, and also joining us is Mr. Vijay Kumar Dutt, former additional member of the Railway Board. Gentlemen, welcome to this special broadcast. Good to have you join us. If I can come to you, Mr. Dutt, first, a big day for Indian Railways as well. Talk to us about the two bridges that were inaugurated by the Prime Minister, the Chenab Bridge and the Anji Bridge. What does it mean for the valley and the people as well as for the railways itself?
Sir, this is something very great. As you have aptly said, it is the gateway to prosperity of this entire region, Jammu and Kashmir. What we say, once long back I was in Kashmir on inspection, so one person told me, sir, the face of Kashmir will only open when railways come. I said, there are so many flights. He said, once the railway comes, lakhs of people will come, lakhs of tourists will come, and our fate, our prosperity will only come when railways come. And today is that historic day when it has been achieved. And as you rightly said, it has been achieved with making so many worlds first. Two, three things which are hidden, which I want to say. See, Himalaya was a seabed once, and when the two plates collided, it became a mountain. So it is a mound of sand. It is not a mount. It is not a stone. So anything to do in that sand area is full of challenges. You see tunnels collapse. So what has been achieved? It is not Alps which is made of stone. So something to do in Himalaya and to do such a feat, which is world's first tunnels, the cable stay bridges, is something every Indian and every technical engineer in India should feel very, very proud.
Okay, Professor Manoj Chaudhary is also with us in the studio. Namaskar,
Good
sir.
morning, namaste.
Yes, so could you also tell us a bit more about the Chenab Bridge? It is considered a marvel of civil engineering. Why is that? And could you also perhaps shed some light on the obstacles that have come in building this Chenab Bridge over the course of last several years?
This bridge is a monument of India's engineering excellence. If you look at this bridge, of course, as you already highlighted in the news, that it is the largest single arch bridge that we have, 359 meters tall, 35 meters taller than the Eiffel Tower, 1,315 meter long. The important part here is how this is constructed, right? If you look in the steel welding that has happened in this bridge, right, more than maybe 500 kilometers steel welding, how they have been inspected. We used phased array ultrasound, ultrasonic testing machines to inspect each of the joint. If it can withstand the wind pressures and the challenges, that is one part. Second part, when such a bridge is constructed, how the single biggest arch, how did we use, for example, the cranes to lift and to put the arch in its place. Secondly, many parts of it were prefabricated or fabricated near the site itself, and therefore, from engineering excellence point of view, right, it is a very, very important excellence that has happened, and Indian Railways has shown to the world that Chenab Bridge not only connects two parts below which the Chenab river is flowing, it is actually very, very important segment of the entire Udhampur Srinagar Baramulla rail link. And if we look in the entire design in the seismic zone, when we create such kind of a bridge, we need to take care of lot of aspects into the bridge design itself. What kind of analysis has to be done, including load analysis, including looking at the condition monitorings of how we will measure its structural health over a period of time, what kind of load it can carry. So all those kind of aspects, when you do design, when you do analysis, when you do construction, including already taking care of the maintenance issues as we go ahead, are very, very important part of this engineering challenge. And I am extremely happy that today the engineers from India, Indian engineers have created this engineering marvel in Indian Railways, and Indian Railways, which is a technological organization, has shown its might to the entire world.
Indeed. Professor Chaudhary, Mr. Dutt, do stay on. We are getting some news that's just coming in. News just breaking here on this broadcast, India's central bank, the RBI, has reduced the repo rate by 50 basis points. The repo rate is down to 5.5% from 6%. The RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra announced the MPC decision. The MPC stance has changed from accommodative to neutral, and the real GDP growth rate for 2025-26 is projected at 6.5%. The breaking news here on DD India. The RBI has reduced the repo rate by 50 basis points.
Yes, the repo rate coming down to 5.5% from 6%. Well, the expectations earlier were of a 25 basis points rate cut, but RBI has gone for 50 basis points. This MPC also decided to change the stance from accommodative to neutral, and a real GDP growth rate for 2025-26 is projected at 6.5%. Okay, our correspondent from Mumbai, Shama Mishra, joins us on the phone line. Shama, so RBI has actually prioritized growth when it has gone for a 50 basis point rate cut. Will it bring cheer to the loan borrowers? Shama Mishra, are you able to hear me? Okay, we'll try and connect with our correspondent there from Mumbai, Shama Mishra. Shama, RBI has actually gone for a 50 basis point rate cut, contrary to the expectations of a 25 basis points rate cut. How do you see this? Will it bring cheer to the loan borrowers? RBI's policy comes at a time when the global economy faces increased uncertainty due to US President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs. In the last policy, RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra had warned of possible global economic turmoil arising due to the tariff wars.
Well, it was on expected lines, and we were thinking that RBI might not take this bold decision of reducing the basis point by 50 basis point. But yes, RBI has delivered on expected lines and against the hopes of many who were thinking that it will be this time around 25 basis point. But yes, it has sent cheers, and the industry is happy about it, because since the time that RBI has started reducing, it's now 100 basis point that the repo rate has been reduced. Also, we were expecting that the Reserve Bank of India would be talking something on the economy, and he has said that there is stability in the Indian economy. However, he is a little worried about, concerned about the growth, and accordingly, according to the aspirations of Reserve Bank of India, the growth is not going strong, and that is why this particular projection has been revised downward. Earlier it was 7%, now it's 6.7%. So yes, the Reserve Bank of India has shown concerns on the growth projection and on the growth overall. But yes, we are also seeing that the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee has been up for now the growth aspect of the policy, because we were earlier seeing that RBI was worried about getting inflation into the control of the target of say 2 to 6%, with 4% being the midpoint. But now, since the inflation has been down and inflation has been within the comfortable range of Reserve Bank of India, RBI can now focus on the growth, and RBI would be cautiously moving ahead with their projection and their other aspects of growth. Also, our Reserve Bank of India Governor Sanjay Malhotra has shown concerns on the uncertainties of international economic aspect, and that is why he has said that this will play a major factor, a major role in shaping our ways of doing business as well. So yes, we were also worried about how the US tariffs and these aspects will play a role coming July. This will play a bigger role once it is implemented, because the impact will be on exports, and also the rupee is depreciating. So all these concerns has been taken into account, and that is why Reserve Bank of India Governor will now be focusing on growth. The MPC is focusing on growth, and we will see in coming days that there will be more steps, more measures taken from the Reserve Bank of India for accelerating or supporting growth.
Also, Shama, the top news lines coming from that briefing by the governor talks about how the global growth and trade projections have been revised downwards, yet we are told that the GDP growth for fiscal 26 remains unchanged at 6.5%.
Like I mentioned, that the GDP projection has been revised downward, and the real GDP growth rate now stands for the year 25-26 at 6.5%, which was earlier 7%. Now he has also listed out how the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 would be. So Q1 would be at 6.5, Q2 would be at 6.7, Q3 would be at 6.6, and Q4 would be at 6.3. So he has listed out these numbers, and it is expected that our growth, our country's growth, would be between 6 to 7%. However, this particular projection has been revised as and when the data comes in, and many a times we've also seen that this projection has been revised upwards as well. So as and when the situation is according to our ways, and it's good, RBI is likely to revise this particular projection upwards, and then we can see, because he has said that there is stability, and we are also seeing that the manufacturing, the urban demand, the rural demand has been picking up, and these are all concerns, and these are all pillars where the growth actually takes place, and because of this the contribution towards the growth of the GDP also takes place. And he has also listed out how household, the banking sector, and various other sectors including exports, they play a major role in contributing to the growth of GDP, and that is why he has listed out that this all these 5 points, including the household, the banking, the exports, these are all important major points. We are also seeing that the Reserve Bank of India Governor, in his speech, has highlighted how this MPC, the Monetary Policy Committee, is now focused on growth, and earlier we were seeing that the stance was also changed. Now he has said that going forward, there'll be, as and when there'll be room for reduction, RBI would be keen on doing so, because RBI now wants to focus on growth. And we did see that earlier it was inflation, and inflation has been gotten under control with good monsoon in future, with good monsoon in sight. It is expected that this particular inflation number would remain under the target range or the comfortable range of Reserve Bank of India, and that is why RBI can now focus on growth.
Okay, thank you very much, Shama Mishra, for reporting on the story of RBI Monetary Policy Committee outlook. And now let's go back to our Bridge to Prosperity special broadcast. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to inaugurate various projects in Jammu and Kashmir. He is going to inaugurate the Chenab bridge. It will boost infrastructure and connectivity in the region. The Chenab bridge inauguration is expected at 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. It is the world's highest railway bridge deck, and he's going to visit this deck of Chenab bridge. He will also inaugurate the Anji bridge and flag off 2 Vande Bharat Express trains at 12 noon. These projects are worth 46,000 crore rupees. And there will be inauguration and dedication ceremonies at the Katra railway station.
All right. Sorry, we still have with us our guests, Professor Chaudhary and Mr. Dutt, to walk our viewers through the remainder of this broadcast. Remember, we are counting down to the inauguration of 2 railway bridges and 2 trains as well, linking the Kashmir Valley with the rest of India. It's a momentous occasion for Jammu and Kashmir as a whole. And to talk to us more about it is our panel of guests, Mr. Dutt and Professor Chaudhary. Mr. Dutt, if I can come to you again, just for the benefit of viewers who are not familiar with the technicalities of the what is going to happen in Katra and elsewhere in the Union Territory. We are told that the Anji Bridge is India's first cable-stayed rail bridge. Now, what is a cable-stayed rail bridge? And talk to us about the features of the bridge. We are told it can withstand wind speeds of up to more than 200 kilometers per hour and allow trains to cross at 100 kilometers per hour as well.
Well said, very well said. There is a fact, very high wind velocities are there in the region. And then, firstly, what is a cable-stayed bridge? So normally bridges on the piers. In case of cable stay bridge, you see there is a pylon, a very big pylon, and on this pylon, the platform is staying, and then it has been tied with the cables. Rather cables, these are the strong steel ropes, 99 numbers, which are tying up. So this type of construction is very special, and it has to be adopted where you say there is a deep gorge. There is no place to put any pier at all, and also gorge is so deep that putting one pylon of such a high length, such height, 193 meters, as you say, is a engineering marvel. I will also try to point out this is a region with very high wind speed, 130 kilometer per hour wind going there. And one thing more, this region lies on, I have been associated with Jack for last 30 years, on the fault line. So when two plates meet, it is a point of fault line. So the very fact that the Chenab hut is on the fault line, it is in the zone 5 of the earthquake prone area. That means a earthquake of Richter scale 8 or 7 can hit it at any time. So the design has to be to take place, to take wind forces, earthquake, if it comes, what will happen, and the strength and the challenges put with the height. If you go for a pylon which is 300 meters high and it is supported and held at the ground, so for that cantilever, what are the forces and how we are going to do it? So these are the challenges which came, and many times I can tell you, engineers like me decided, can we change alignment? Can we do something else? Can we? So after so many options, this ideal option was, which was in itself world's first. So when you design in something, and I say 130 kilometer per hour, it can be 140 also. This is just the statistics. So what factors of safety are to be taken? What factor of safety will be adequate? And in a terrain which is just the seabed, Himalaya was the seabed. And again, you find in sand embedded the signs of the seabed. So a structure which is not sound, and Himalaya is supposed to be the youngest mountain in the world, which was the seabed. So in that area where the structures are not very stable, where there are heights, where there are winds, and there is the earthquake, to design something and see, when you put any factor, the cost goes up, the material goes up, and the complexity of design goes up. And something, say in engineering, there is something called precedence. If you know this structure has lasted for 100 years, yes, it will be strong. Here is an example where there has been never like this before. So do something for the first time and come out right is a very big achievement to my mind.
Okay. Professor Chaudhary, the Indian Institute of Science was the consultant for slope stabilization and foundation of the Chenab Bridge, whereas foreign firms were involved in making its steel arch. So is it another perfect example of the PPP model of growth?
Yeah, so firstly, I want us to reflect that bridge engineering in India has come at to very high level. Just look in last 3 months itself. Firstly, we had Pamban Bridge, India's first vertical lift sea bridge. Right? The second one, just we now talked about Chenab Bridge, that is the highest railway arch bridge. Now we are talking about Anji, that is the first cable stayed bridge. So coming from a very simple bridge structures based on beam bridges or based on cantilevers, actually engineering in India has progressed at a very rapid level. Firstly. Secondly, irrespective of we are talking right now about the Anji bridge in the railways, whether railways is building bridges or whether National Highway Authority is building or whether Border Road Organization is building or in defense sector, bridge engineering itself has come to a far level. And this particular example, adding on to what the previous speaker talked about, as an engineering marvel with 193 meter height pylon, much higher than Qutub Minar, or 725 meter long with 290 meter of the main one, including. So in these kind of bridges, as I mentioned, not merely the design aspects, but as you also proceed and you encounter several difficulties, is there a change design, adaptability that you have, and what kind of changes that may be needed. So that is also important. Then many of the components of such bridges may be prefabricated elsewhere to a terrain where there is not a good transportation available. How do you carry those kind of prefabricated components and in some assemble together to put this kind of engineering marvel? Apart from doing the load analysis being, of course, which is very, very important for any bridge, the important part is looking at the seismic considerations, what kind of soil we have, what kind of geotechnical zone that we have. So these things become very, very important part for the bridge design. And one philosophy, because bridges are expected to last 100, 200, 400 years, so we have to always think of maintenance as a part of the design philosophy. How are we going to maintain the bridge? What kind of safety considerations will we have? What kind of sensors that we can install while constructing the bridge, so that important data related to its conditioning, its condition on the real-time monitoring basis can be made available. So these are very, very important part of the bridge design that has gone into the Anji first cable stayed bridge. And that is why it becomes an engineering marvel. And as I mentioned, the three of them, Pamban, Chenab and Anji, all three reflect different types of bridge engineering, but collectively they reflect the excellence of Indian engineers.
Indeed, Mr. Dutt and Professor Chaudhary, do stay on. We'll come back to you in just a bit. But time to go back to our colleagues who are standing by in Jammu and Srinagar. Tanvi, we are joined, we're told, by Shabbir Dar in Srinagar, and Gurmeet Singh is in Jammu.
Yes, Gurmeet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be flagging off 2 Vande Bharat trains between Srinagar and Katra. Could you shed some more light on the designs of these special trains, Vande Bharat trains?
See, this Vande Bharat train, as you've already told our viewers, is today is the first day, and on the first day the media persons and the journalists are allowed to board the train, and the train would start from Katra railway station till there is another station which is not far away from here, and tomorrow is the day when this train will commence from here, from Katra railway station till Srinagar, and it will take 3 hours to reach to Srinagar. As you've already told our viewers that the travel time will be cut into half when the people will be traveling through this train. And as well as if we talk about this rail link, which is Udhampur Srinagar Baramulla rail link, so out of this the Kashmir part of the rail link, it was completed earlier, and the second phase, which is Banihal to there's another station, so that link was inaugurated in February 2024, and this was the third phase which was to be inaugurated in this year, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to inaugurate it today. So it is being done in the phased manner, and now the train would start from Katra and will culminate till Srinagar, and from the Srinagar side, from the Kashmir side, the train will come from Srinagar, then would come here till Katra. So the train would be a 6 days train, so it will run 6 days in a week. And if we talk about the convenience for the Kashmiris and for the people of this region, first of all, it is being expected that this rail link would give a big boost to the employment in this region, because wherever the railway stations are being established, wherever there will be halt of the people, so shops and showrooms, they are coming into existence, and people, the localites especially, they would get employment through this. And secondly, the public transport, the convenience will be there for the people of this region, and whosoever sitting in Srinagar wants to go to Chennai, so he can go to Chennai through the rail connectivity only. Earlier it was not possible. And third thing, which is quite important, because if somebody is sitting in Delhi, so he wants to go to Srinagar, so it was not possible to go to Srinagar through rail link. And specifically if it is winter season and harsh weather, At the time, there was a time when the roads would be blocked. Sometimes there would be landslide, any other natural calamity. So 15 days, 20 days halt would be there on the national highway only. So now this rail connectivity is going to give a big boost to the economy of this region, and it is the vision of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and specifically after abrogation of Article 370 in 2019, that the employment in this region should enhance, as well as the economy of this region should get a big boost. And it is being expected that with this rail link being into operation from Srinagar to Katra, it will certainly enhance and boost the economy of this region. If we talk about the agriculture and industry in this region, that will also get a big boost, big spike. And if we talk about the farmers of Kashmir region and Jammu region, then out of 10 farmers, there's an estimate that out of 10 farmers, 7 farmers are growing perishable fruits. So perishable fruits, like their shelf life is 5 days, 6 days. So with this rail link, a farmer who's sitting in Kashmir, who's sitting in Baramulla, sitting in Srinagar, so he can expect a good market in South India. He can expect a good market in Uttar Pradesh. So this rail link is going to be a big game changer for Kashmir and Jammu region.
Indeed, a game changer, says our colleague Gurmeet, who is in Jammu, in Katra actually. And coming to Shabir, you now. Talk to us. We're discussing about the Udhampur, Srinagar, Baramulla railway line and the Vande Bharat Express trains linking Srinagar. Now, the railway line gives an all-weather connectivity to the Kashmir Valley, and we are told the trains are the first semi-high-speed trains to Srinagar. And to amplify the point that Gurmeet was making, this will give a big boost to not only the local industry but the local economy and also tourism, and improve connectivity as well.
Yeah, indeed, as my friend Gurmeet was saying, that this is a game changer. Indeed, this is a game changer for the region, not only for Kashmir, but the entire Jammu and Kashmir, because the Vande Bharat trains, which will be run from Katra to Srinagar and from Srinagar to Katra, will not only make it easy the accessibility, not only make the travel easier for the people, but it will definitely going to boost the employment. It will generate new jobs. Given the fact that people will be, now youth will be setting up, these food stalls and other, job-oriented things on the railway tracks or in areas near the stations. So the farmers are going to benefit from this. The travel and tour industry will get a big boost, because we have seen in the recent days, Kashmir had a slump in tourism after the unfortunate incident in Pahalgam where terrorists gunned down tourists. So now this opening of the train is definitely being seen by the people in Kashmir, by people who are associated with tourism and trade. They are seeing that this is going to give a boost. This is also going to give confidence boost to the people to come and visit Kashmir, because it will be all-weather connectivity. There will be no hiccups now in winter. When there is weather vagaries, the Srinagar national road connectivity, national highway will get closed. Now the all-weather connectivity by rail is definitely going to increase the footfall of tourists and pilgrims, particularly because we're seeing Kashmir is having a huge potential for pilgrim tourism, given the fact that we have this Amarnath shrine, Amarnath Enclave shrine in Kashmir, which is the pilgrimage for which is going to start from July, first week of July. So indeed, for the pilgrims, this train will be a big, thing, because they will have a easy access to Kashmir this time around, and this train is, as Gurmeet was saying, is cutting the travel time, because it is cutting travel time by 2.5 hours. So indeed, it will be easy, and especially I will talk about the Vande Bharat trains, because these have been designed. This too is an engineering marvel, because these Vande Bharat trains, which will run from Katra to Srinagar and Srinagar to Katra, have been designed keeping in view the weather of Jammu and Kashmir, because in Kashmir the winter is harsh. So the Vande Bharat trains will have, they have those things in the design. These things have been included which will make the journey comfortable for the travelers. So the strike from Katra to Srinagar is not only a engineering marvel, but the geography and the topography is a treat for the eyes to see. And the travelers in the train will definitely love to travel in this train. And that's what is the expectations in Kashmir. I'm right now in the railway station in Srinagar, and I'm seeing the huge crowd here. People are eagerly waiting for the Vande Bharat train to reach here. So it will reach any time after the Prime Minister will inaugurate it in Katra. The people are eagerly waiting to welcome it here because they know the benefits and the positives it will bring to Kashmir. It will definitely give a boost to, as I said, to tourism, to employment, and particularly to the agriculture, because Kashmir's perishable fruit industry will have now the easy access to markets deep in south, in central India, and in eastern and western India, because the apple, the cherry, the apricot, these crops are perishable items and they have a less shelf life. When we have earlier, what the farmers would face, they would face the highway closure, which would result losses to their fruit. But now, this Vande Bharat train and the trains which will follow after that, they will definitely carry the Kashmir's produce, the farming produce, the horticultural produce to the markets in India, which is definitely going to create jobs and new boost to Kashmir's economy, which definitely needs a revival and a boost. And the Vande Bharat train is coming as a boost to Kashmir's economy.
Okay, thanks, Shabir. Request you to stay with us as we await Prime Minister's arrival for the inauguration of the Chenab and the Anji Bridge. Let's go back to our guests on the show. Coming to you, Vijay Kumar Dutt ji. Yes, our correspondents have immensely, given these details of how the US BRL project is set to revolutionize socio-economic development of Jammu and Kashmir. But also the fact that US BRL rail link is also an example of continuity in governance because it has spanned several years now.
Definitely. This project is unique in many ways. As it said, it opened for people of Kashmir opportunities in agriculture, opportunities in trade, opportunities in freight, and opportunities in travel. Three things I want to say here. When Vande Bharat concept was launched and when we were doing this program, I was asked, sir, this is just the seating arrangement. How longer distance Vande Bharat will go? So I said, the Vande Bharat with the sleeper option is on the design table. Your anchor asked me, sir, is it possible? So this is something which has been possible with this project. It is for the first time we have a sleeper Vande Bharat train where you have a sleeping bed, you can sleep. And this marks a new dimension in our indigenous designing capability of semi-high-speed trains, where the arrangement can be sleeping. So this is something new. Secondly, when we make a specification in a country, say India is a country with a lot of temperature variation. So we normally make a specification -5 degrees to 45 degrees. That is the range width. Here we are going temperature up to -20 degrees. So when you go from -5 to -20 degrees in the specification, it is a big challenge for the designer how he is going to design air conditioning equipment where there is oil, there is a lubrication, then how he is going to design the OHE which is designed. So you go in a realm where the technology has not been proven before. So that challenge has been very successfully overcome, and this is a feat of totally indigenous design, totally indigenous manufacture, and totally indigenous concept, which is something a source of great satisfaction for Indian technological people. Coming further, I would like to say this is a year of 100 years of railway electrification in India, and we are going to be 100% electrified in this year, and which will be a feat, a world record which nobody has achieved, and maybe for many, many decades nobody will be able to achieve. Here I am saying at this height, at this wind pressure, you are seeing pylons, you are seeing cable stay bridges, you are seeing Chenab bridge. Over that, you put 7-meter high pillars on which you put copper OHE, which is very flexible, and to design where the now design parameters for OHE, for electric traction are known. Here you are going beyond those things. So what we have as an engineer, see what is proven, and when you go something without beyond the realm of being proven, that is where it has come. So designing overhead equipment, and I can tell you this is 25,000 volt, one of the highest voltages in the world on which this traction is going. So 25,000 volts on 7-meter high poles above that high bridge which you are showing is another feat which gives. So when you go and design, and those bend speeds you design, and something on which the pantograph of the train will touch, and it will be in the touch because total power is going to come here, and it will be stable, and it will behave stably up to 130 km per hour of the speed, and it will not give you much sparking, much total safety. So this is something new in the design which has been achieved by this picture.
Indeed, while we are waiting for the Prime Minister to arrive and inaugurate the projects and flag off the 2 trains, Professor Chaudhary, I want us to talk a bit, if you will, about the Vishwavidyalaya in particular. And correct me if I'm wrong, but one of your mandates is to foster industry collaboration, especially with the railways. Now, and as an aside, I can inform our viewers that GSP was earlier known as the National Rail and Transportation Institute. So your experience of working with industry as well as the railways, and what kind of collaboration did you have on these projects in particular?
Thank you for asking this important aspect. Firstly, I'll start with the USBRL project. In 3 words, if I can say what it is doing: economic prosperity, cultural and social integration, and strategic strengthening of the region, which is so important. So all the 3 aspects are getting covered through this. Indian Railways particularly is undergoing tremendous transformation, and which is technology driven. Whether we are looking at laying 14 km per day new railway tracks, or we talked about electrification close to 100%, or introduction of newer trains like Vande Bharat, like Amrit Bharat, the modernization of railway stations through Amrit Bharat railway station, or developing new locomotives like in last month itself we had for freight traffic 9,000 horsepower locomotive inaugurated from Daud. So on all aspects, whether for passenger traffic, of course we carry 700 crore passengers a year. On other side, for freight movement also, last year we had more than 1.66 billion tons freight traffic to be covered. So all aspects for passenger as well as for freight, Indian Railways is undergoing tremendous transformation. Same is the case for all other sectors for transportation, with number of airports doubling, for example, with national highways being laid at 35 km per day and so on. However, there was no university dedicated to the transportation and logistics sector in India, while we had 23 IITs, 21 IIMs, 32 NITs. But this specific sector which requires specialized manpower for entire transport and logistics was not there, and therefore Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya was created through an act of parliament. Being sector specific university, all our programs are for sectors. We are operated under the Railway Ministry, and we are very happy that Honorable Railway Minister is our first Chancellor of the university. So we have several programs related to rail engineering. I am very happy to tell that GSV is the only university which has programs related to rail engineering. We have programs related to logistics and supply chain. We have programs related to aviation engineering. I am very happy to tell that this year in August, for which admission process is ongoing, we are introducing MTech program in bridge and tunnel engineering, perhaps the first in India. We are having MTech program in intelligent transport systems and in railway engineering. We are through an MOU with Indian Army, Air Force and Navy, we are training their officers in logistics and supply chain management. For Indian Railways, all probationers officers are trained at Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya for the entire training program, and later on we have mid-career training programs for many. I am also happy to tell that India is a leader in transportation sector. In last 3-4 months itself, we had 180 officers from 35 different countries who got trained in the logistics and transportation and railway related sectors. Therefore, to build our capabilities as we are aiming to become Viksit Bharat on transportation sector for railways, for aviation, for shipping, for highways, for inland waterways and all forms of transportation logistics sector, Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya is the focal point. Now, for industry driven, what do we do? All our program, our vision itself is innovation led and industry driven university. That means every single step in the university is taken in line with this vision. If we had to make a curriculum, we included inputs significantly from Ministry of Railways, its production units, then corporates like L&T, Siemens, ABB, Alstom, railway related organizations. So basically, a stakeholder decides what students should study. A potential employer must decide what student must. So curriculum design, what to teach is decided by industry. Who to teach? We have a great combination of regular faculty members with degrees from top institute, PhDs from that, plus a combination of practical experts. I am very happy to tell at this moment around 15 officers from Indian Railways are currently teaching at our university for different courses. Therefore, there is a practical immersion part. We have mandatory intensive program for students at different railway facilities. We have projects that are done with railways. We have recently set up a center for bridge testing and health monitoring center for excellence there. We are having center of excellence in executive education training because 2.2 crore people today are working in the entire transportation sector, including 12 lakh in Indian Railways, and they need upskilling and reskilling for the 21st century. Therefore, based on the mandate given by through the Act of Parliament, we are working in the industry driven approach. For example, our entire aviation program is designed with inputs and significant involvement of Airbus. Ours is the only university in India where 84 students are fully supported for their entire education, including tuition and hostel fees by corporates. There is no other parallel enrollment. That is why, so corporates have come forward in a very big manner. So working together with government, with stakeholders, all forms of transportation, primarily starting with railways, and this is how we are progressing ahead.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Vijay, we've talked about the tunnels, we've talked about the bridges, I beg your pardon. Let's talk a bit about the constructions of the tunnels as part of this Udhampur, Srinagar, Baramulla rail link project. Well, there are 36 main tunnels with a total length of 119 kilometers and 8 escape tunnels with a total length of 66 kilometers. So Jammu and Kashmir now boasts of India's longest and second longest Pir Panjal railway tunnel and even the third longest transportation tunnel. So how historic does this make the this rail link project?
This is very historic and I should say challenging and the satisfaction to the technical community that it has been achieved. I'm repeating something. When tunnel, say between Udhampur and Katra, one tunnel I have seen collapsed. What happens is, as I said, Himalaya is the youngest mountain in the world. And if you say in the history of this, this is what you say new and it arose from seabed. So it is just a collection of sand. So when you make a tunnel, like if you see a tunnel between Udhampur and Katra, tunnel was ready, but then the whole of the mountain inside, it collapsed and we had mounds and mounds of sand. Because to find out with the available gadgetry, ultrasonics and all that, how much stable the structure will be there. So in those terrain, if you work, and again, when you design, say you design an arch is a very stable structure, dome is a very stable structure, but again you have to make an assumption that mountain, how much force is going to come. So those are the challenges which has been, and you know, some tunnels have to be rebuilt, some tunnels have to be evacuated, some tunnels have to be, so many challenges on the tunneling front has been seen analyzed and overcome. I think this type of construction is very special to Himalaya. Say, you say in Alps there are tunnels, in Europe there are tunnels, but they are all stone. But here it is sand. So when you make a very tall, say very tall mountain, and when you do tunneling in that, how much reinforcement you give, whether the assumption of reinforcement is good enough. But good point is 99.9% it has been correct, but 0.01% it has shown you the nature forces where your assumptions go wrong and how you go about correcting that. So I think that is a very good experience for Indian engineers, even something for the world to know in such terrain, earthquake prone terrain, there is a fault line there itself. Some people said, I have been associated with this project for last 40 years. Sometimes somebody said, this fault line you don't please cross. A earthquake zone of zone 5, Richter scale 8, please don't do. What will happen if this earthquake comes and how do we design? But those things have been considered, taken into account, the proper material, proper strength provided for, and a product which has come is something very unique. I will tell you, in year 2007, I was in charge, I was in the railway board, when this whole tunnel has collapsed. So it was unbelievable to see that something which have made ready, but the nature of forces are so strong. It has broken the dome and the total mountain has collapsed from inside had come, but that has been revealed. So these are some of the challenges. Mother nature is strongest, that is God. So when you work on those areas and work with the determination, it is a very big tribute to the people who worked, all workers, everything. And one thing more I will tell you. See, as it was said, it was very difficult to carry material. See, hundreds of kilometers of roads have been built or unimaginable. This site, if I reach this site, I have to build 100 kilometers of road. But this road is a lifeline to people, otherwise it would not have been built. So to get the material to the project, to have access to the project, how much developmental works have gone in the Kashmir is something, a matter of pride, that this project has given livelihood, employment, accessibility, prosperity to so many regions which are outlined, and even regions which are about 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers away from the center line of the track which has happened.
Okay, Professor Chaudhary, you wanted to add to that. Is this called the Himalayan tunneling technique?
That is where I was coming to. The extent of innovation is such that we now have a Himalayan tunneling system. Of course, we were always using the Austrian tunneling method. But however, looking at the particular geotechnical aspects with the kind of rocks we have, the kind of Himalayas that we have, whenever we have a tunnel, maybe through drill and blast method or other methods, here the particular emphasis was put on what do we do pre-excavation, not merely after excavating what do we do. And therefore, this entire method is now called Himalayan tunneling, named after this, and therefore it has become an extremely new method in tunneling technology, and that is biggest innovation and components that is there. The second part, as you highlighted, this is such a project where whether T50, T80, T44, the gold, silver and bronze, all the three awards for the tunnels, the longest tunnel go to this project only. And therefore, this is such a great milestone, such a great day for all people who are involved in the bridge and tunnel engineering, and particularly Indian Railways, which is known for engineering excellence.
Indeed. Professor Chaudhary, we know that we are pressed for time. We have other prior commitments, so may I thank you for joining us and sharing your perspectives with our viewers at home and abroad.
Thank you so much.
But we still have with us our other guest, Mr. Vijay Kumar Dutt. Mr. Dutt, now we've spoken about Indian Railways expertise and technical excellence. In that context, is there scope for railways to do more in terms of global outreach, sharing the expertise with other countries in the global south, in particular in terms of exporting locomotives or coaches or even talent for that matter?
Yes. Thank you for putting a very relevant topic. See, Indian Railways has achieved what you say real 100% Atmanirbhar. We have world's strongest locomotive, 12,000 horsepower locomotive, uh, which was in Europe with Alstom. Of course, now it is our design, being produced in India in Madhepura factory, which is the world's best and strongest locomotive being proved in such difficult terrains. We have Vande Bharat coaches, which are the world-class coaches. We have wagons. We are going for aluminium wagons. We are going for stainless steel wagons. So, rolling stock, again, the technology of bridges, the pylon, the Chenab bridge technology, then signaling technology, the latest ETCS signaling system, CBTC, all those things have come. So India is has them because when you go abroad, when you tender, you have to your capability, your availability, and demonstration of its success. So all has been achieved. So we are poised. So many projects India is doing in Bangladesh, in Africa. Now we are poised to do projects in the most advanced systems like European Rail and American Rail. So that is something which is new happening. And Indian manufacturing capacity, like I would say, this 12,000 horsepower locomotive which we are building in Madhepura. Earlier, Alstom is building in their works in Spain, in France. But now I am happy to see that this which is being built in our Saharanpur, Madhepura, Nagpur, engineers from France are coming and seeing the latest innovations which will take back to France. So the training is reversed. Now people from Europe, engineers are coming. It is the same Alstom. They have factory in Europe, manufacturing facility in Europe, manufacturing facility in India. But because the product which they are making in India is the latest and the maximum demand is there, so production is there. So India is becoming a source for very high level training, very high level expertise, and also, as you said, a source of export, which I see very coming in a big way, in a very, of course, some export has already taken place, locomotive, wagons, coaches, but it will come increase in a very big way. If you allow me, I will like to put another important subject, which is the energy efficiency. G20 Declaration of India for improving the energy intensity by 100% by 2030. Now, these type of projects, railways, uh, the keystone of achieving India's commitment in G20 in COP is moving traffic. World says if you want to survive, you go from road to rail. In India, something is great. We have not only rail. In India, it is 100% electrified going to this year. Rail means electrified railways. It is not so in the world. It is only India where rail means 100% electrified railways. That means directly you are putting power, and the more you put, so once you put power through a pantograph, you are locally carbon neutral. There is no emission. But then the question is, again, world asks, if you put the power, if you use coal to generate power, then somewhere you are creating emission. Of course, it will be very low. But if you put renewable power, then you are totally carbon neutral. So this is going to be achieved progressively, and as Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji said, today in electric traction we are putting about 20% of the renewable power. It will gradually increase to 100% by 2030. So 100% Indian railways will be carbon neutral by 2030, which will be a feat not achieved by anywhere and also not likely to be achieved for many, many years. One thing more I would like to tell you. Say in Europe, their trend is to run hydrogen trains. Of course, if you try to run hydrogen trains, you should use green hydrogen. Because if you burn coal to produce a hydrogen, you are not helping control emissions. Now, if you run by a hydrogen train, you are using 3 times the renewable energy, which is scarce. Because for producing hydrogen, you split water. You lose 40% efficiency. And then when you run fuel cell by hydrogen, you lose another 40% efficiency. So with electric traction, if you are 99% efficient, in case of hydrogen, green hydrogen, you are only 30% efficient. But the challenge here is, what is the breakthrough? In India, cost of electric traction has been stable, unchanged for last 20 years. So at the level, at the rate which we are able to do electrification in India, I will put you the figure. 1 crore rupees for 1 kilometer of electrification. This is a world record, and it has remained the same for last 20 years while the prices have gone by innovation. So this is how it has been possible. World also wants to do it, but their cost of electrification is so high, they are not able to do it. So when they are not able to do electrification, you are not able to take advantage of renewable energy directly going. So you have to fall back on hydrogen train. Hydrogen train is good if you use green hydrogen. Now green hydrogen is 4 times costly than the normal hydrogen. If you run that, so you are using 3 times the renewable energy, which is a very, very scarce resource. So the path given by India, Indian engineers, said in G20 and in other fora of making planet, environment, carbon neutral, emission free, this is a very big achievement, and which is a message to the world, how you make it do. And for doing this, what is required is innovation. You bring out cost, make it doable, and do it. So this has been achieved, which is a very big feat I want to bring to the knowledge, to the learned viewers through your esteemed channel.
Feat, well, if Indian Railways achieves its target of net zero carbon emissions earlier than expected, well, there was a report a few days ago that it will achieve this target ahead of its schedule, that's 2030. Request Vijay ji to stay with us in this broadcast. We are heading for a short break here. We'll be back with more news and analysis on the railway projects going to be inaugurated shortly by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Jammu and Kashmir.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against